We're diving deep into the top 3 bicentennial dollars, uncovering the rare errors, hidden details, and shocking values that make them so desirable. Some of the most iconic coins in history. The Bicentennial series. Among them, 3 stand out not just for their patriotic designs, but also for their incredible collector value: the 1976 D Eisenhower dollar, the 1976 D Kennedy half dollar, and the 1976 Bicentennial Quarter Dollar. What looks like pocket change to most people could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The most rare 1976 D Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar era. The coin collectors whisper about, the one that can be worth hundreds, thousands, and in the most jaw-dropping, once-in-a-lifetime cases potentially millions. Stick around, I'll show you how to spot the game-changing errors, what really drives the value, and how a single glance under a loupe can turn pocket change into headline news. The background: the year 1976 was America's bicentennial, the 200th birthday of the nation. The United States Mint commemorated it in many ways, and one of the most visible was the Eisenhower dollar bearing the dual dates 1776-1976. These large, heavy silver-clad and some copper-nickel-clad dollars were struck in massive numbers for circulation and collectors alike. The Denver Mint, marked with a small d, produced millions of these coins for circulation, which means the typical 1976 D Eisenhower is not rare by mintage. Off-center strikes, $8,000 to $12,000. Broad strike and collar failures, $19,000 to $25,000. Double die obverse or reverse, $35,000 to $40,000. Auction sales price invaluable. Let's be blunt, most 1976 D Eisenhower dollars in circulation are ordinary and worth face value or a few dollars to collectors. But when an error and condition line up, the numbers change fast. Common minor errors or low-grade error pieces, typically $5,000 to $300. Clear single dramatic errors in decent grade, e.g. large off-center, strong double die, or broad strike, often $3,000 to $2,500 depending on grade and eye appeal. High-grade, certified rare varieties or combination errors, $30,000 to $40,000. These are the coins that make headlines. Museum quality, unique, or famously pedigreed specimens. Here prices become unpredictable: $55,000 in auctions if multiple bidders want the story and pedigree. Numismatics has produced million-dollar coins before, but those are usually unique, historically significant, and with irrefutable provenance. Classic examples: certain unique coppers, rare early golds, unique proof errors with strong pedigrees. How to identify one? Grab a 5x 10x loupe, good light, and a soft cloth. Check the mint mark. Examine the tiny D near the eagle. Look for doubling, repunching, or a shadow mint mark. Inspect alignment. Is the portrait centered? Is the rim complete? Any portion of the design missing indicates off-center or clip. Look at the rims. A broad strike will have a thin or missing rim area and a larger outer diameter. Read the lettering. Doubling is most obvious on feel. The coin broad-struck pieces sometimes feel slightly thinner toward edges. Off-centers may have uneven strike relief. Search for die breaks. Raised lines or blobby areas not part of the design often indicate die damage. Document with photos. Take sharp macro photos of obverse, reverse, and close-ups of the mint mark and date. These are invaluable when asking online experts or submitting to a grading service. The most rare and valuable 1976 D era Kennedy half dollars. Uncover their history, reveal the error types you need to look for, and break down why a handful of these coins are so wildly valuable that collectors will at auction to own them. So grab your magnifying glass, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what separates an ordinary bicentennial half dollar from a life-changing jackpot coin. The background: before we diving into the rare errors, let's set the stage. The year was 1976. And America was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It wasn't just a party, it was a nationwide spectacle. Fireworks, parades, historic reenactments, and, yes, even special coins struck by the United States Mint. The Mint wanted to honor America's 200th birthday, so it redesigned the quarter, half dollar, and dollar coin for the very first time. That's why you'll see 2 dates on bicentennial coins: double die errors, $5,000 to $7,000. Off-center strikes, $8,000 to $10,000. Wrong planchet errors, $12,000 to $17,000. Famous sales and auction records. Over the years, Several Bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar errors have shocked collectors at auction. Major off-center strikes have sold in the thousands. Wrong planchet errors have soared into five figures. $75,000 high-grade MS-67 examples of ordinary 1976 D coins have sold for nearly $60,000 to $67,000, while we haven't yet seen a 1976 D Bicentennial Kennedy break into the $1 million club. Experts agree the right error, the right grade, and the right market could one day make it happen. After all, other modern coins have crossed that line. Why not this one? How to identify your 1976 D half-dollar? Now that you know what to look for, here's a step-by-step guide. Magnifying glass. Use a 5x 10x loupe to inspect details. Check the obverse. Look at Liberty Trust for doubling. Examine the reverse. Focus on Independence Hall and United States of America. Inspect the rim and alignment. Off-centers, broad strikes, or clips are easiest to spot here. Weigh the coin. Wrong planchet errors will have unusual weights. Compare diameter. If it feels smaller or larger than normal, you might have a broad strike or off-metal strike. Selling your rare Bicentennial half-dollar. Once you've confirmed it's valuable, where should you sell? Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers specialize in rare errors. Online marketplaces like eBay can bring good money, but certification is critical to avoid scams. Coin shows and dealers. Great for advice and networking, but shop around for offers. That's the magic of the 1976 Bicentennial Quarter Dollar errors. Coins struck to celebrate America's 200th birthday that, thanks to rare minting mistakes, have become some of the most valuable modern coins collectors dream about. We're going to uncover everything: the history of the Bicentennial Quarter, the rare errors that make some worth a fortune, the wild auction records, and exactly what you should look for in your pocket change or old coin jars. The background: the year 1976 wasn't just another year for America, it was the country's 200th birthday. To mark the occasion, the U.S. Mint did something unprecedented. It redesigned the reverse of circulating coins for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar for the quarter. The Mint held a national design competition. The winning design by Jack Lahr featured a colonial drummer boy, with a torch surrounded by 13 stars. The obverse, still featuring George Washington, bore the dual date 1776 to 1976, double die obverse DDO, $6,000 to $10,000 plus. Off-center strikes, $15,000 to $20,000. Broad strikes and collar errors, $16,000 to $30,000. Wrong planchet errors, $10,000 to $15,000. Auction stories that shock collectors. Collectors love legends, and Bicentennial quarters have their share in one famous auction. A wrong planchet Bicentennial quarter sold for over $80,000. Another off-center double strike drew bids above $85,000. Even a regular Bicentennial quarter in stunning MS-68 grade has fetched thousands. Each sale adds fuel to the fire, showing collectors that this coin, $90,000 struck in the billions, still hides rarities that can change lives. How to identify a rare 1976 era quarter? Want to check your own? Here's how. Use a loupe 5x, 10x magnification. Inspect Liberty and for doubling. Look at the date 1776-1976. Any unusual doubling, check the drummer's details. Doubling on the drum or torch is valuable. Examine rims and edges. Off-centers, broad strikes, or clips will show here. Weigh your coin. A normal clad quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's lighter, heavier, or way off, you may have a wrong planchet condition. Check. Even without errors, MS-67 or higher could mean thousands. Where to sell rare Bicentennial quarters? Once graded, you have options. Major auction houses. Heritage, Stack's Bowers ideal for five-figure coins. eBay or Great Collections great for mid-range errors, but only with certification. Coin shows and dealers good for quick sales, but shop multiple offers.